agree it is, yes. I mean, the great thing about it is that Priest has been around for many, many years, and this is our 13th offering, and the pleasure that we had in making this record was because Judas Priest has really kind of stretched and explored all the potential of heavy metal music. We've not gone into the studio year after year and made the same kind of album. So, having done all of these different types of music, when we came to writing this one, we thought, well, what do we want to do now in our career, the 13th album, so on and so forth. We all agreed that we just wanted to make a down-and-out, heavy metal, hardcore record. And so, with that attitude in mind, that's what we went about to proceed to do. And I think, to a degree, I'd say yes, it's certainly the heaviest thing that we've done in recent years. We're very, very happy with it.
That's great. Like you said, it is your 13th album.
Yes.
Do any of you feel a bit superstitious?
No, actually, I've only started to think about that 13th album. I mean, it's unlucky for some, but knowing metal, what it is, maybe it'll do the opposite and do good things for us.
I hope it will. Anyway.
We're optimistic. We're forever optimistic.
How does it compare to some of your previous albums, like British Steel and Screaming for Vengeance?
I think that there's each of our albums has had like a separate identity unto itself, but you point out those two albums, and to a degree it might be fair to say there's a little bit of the flavour of both of those albums somewhere in the Ram It Down album. It is essentially all solid, hard, heavy metal music. There's no real compromise, you know. It's straight down the line. So. Even though it stands in its own right, there's probably a little bit of a draw of the flavour of one or two of the previous things that we've done. You know, it basically comes down to your actual desire and gut feeling to the work that you're doing, and I think that if any of that was beginning to diminish, if we were getting to feel a bit jaded by it all, we'd have knocked it on the head. I mean, you've got to give 100% in this game, doesn't matter what music you play. If you come over less than that, I think people see it, you know. But no, I think that while we still feel the same way that we do, and the way that we can still, what we feel, write good albums and give great shows on stage, then we'll still do it. But I suppose the only real drag problem is the you know, the travelling, which, I mean, you hear every musician talk about. The good time is that moment that you're on that stage for 2 hours, wherever it might be. And as long as you've got that to look forward to each night, then it's great, you know.
And do you look forward to it? Is it still exciting?
I do, absolutely, yes. I mean, you get your off days, obviously, but once the lights go down, you hear the roar of the crowd, you know, you just switch on and you're away. It's in the blood, it really is.
How about the band then?
I mean, it's a bit like a marriage. When you start off in the early days, you tend to have your dislikes and differences, but you have to work that out, like any professional situation. You try and work out your differences, and you might not like the way a certain person eats his food or does whatever else, but you live with that. It's just a small price to pay. But now, of course, after this length of time, we see each other when we need to see each other. We get in the studio when we need to work. But you know, I don't mean to be funny. We do have a tremendous personal relationship outside of the music as much as anything else, and we're very lucky because we're the longest, I believe we're the longest established heavy metal band that this country's got left. We don't keep changing members every 5 minutes, you know, and that's something for us to be proud of, and I think people are happy to see us still together and doing what we do.
How long have you been together now?
Well, I think it's probably almost like 16 or 17 years, which is long by any standards, especially in the music business, and that's simply because from day one we saw this as hopefully going to be a career kind of orientated situation. We really wanted to stay in it as long as we could, so we've changed and adapted with the times as and when it was needed to be done, but we've never lost our roots. We've never lost the hardcore element of what we are as a band, and things come round in circles, you know, and as you're aware, heavy metal music is as big and as popular and as powerful now as it's ever been, so we're on the crest of a wave at the moment. It's wonderful, of course. Yes, we've got another mammoth world tour about to kick off soon, May the 6th, I think, or the 7th. We start off in Stockholm, all over Europe. We're coming back to England for the first time in almost 4 years. We're very excited about that, playing most of the major towns and cities in the UK. Back off to America for another big tour, and once again to Japan and Australia for the first time. So Priest will be on the road from May until November doing what we do best. Looking forward to it.
So what are you most excited about? You said you haven't been to Australia before. Is it Australia or maybe the UK?
Well, a combination of both, I think. I mean, I think it's fair to say that we're very excited about coming back to England because it's been a while since we've been away, and this is the established hardcore metal country. This is where it came from. This is where heavy metal began, you know. So we're obviously very excited about what we're going to achieve on this particular tour here. But equally, going to somewhere like Australia for the first time, that's always a challenge. People have seen us on videos and so forth, but never witnessed Priest live in the flesh, which is a totally awesome experience. So we're obviously looking forward to that very much. But it's still a thrill. We generally do a major world tour once every 18 months to 2 years, so we don't overplay ourselves. We go out when we feel we want to go out, which means that we're ready to do it, give it 100%, have a good time, and not go out there because somebody's pushing us in the back, you know.